Peace and power, family. You're tuned in to Rootwork Revival Radio, where we conjure memory, root ourselves in truth, and honor the sacred traditions of our people, past, present, and forever forward. I'm your host, Trey, veteran, root worker, and cultural keeper of Pangea's Botanica. And as this year draws to a close, I want to talk about something that brings our spiritual, cultural, and economic lives into alignment: the 7 Principles of Kwanzaa. Now, Kwanzaa isn't just a holiday, it's a philosophy, a week-long ceremony of remembrance, reflection, and responsibility, a time to recommit to who we are as a people. It was born in 1966, in the heart of the Black liberation era, when our communities needed structure, identity, and spiritual grounding. Dr. Malana Karenga designed Kwanzaa to remind us of what already lived in us: the ability to build, to create, to honor ancestors, and to do it together. So today, we're going to walk through the Nguzo Saba, the 7 Principles, not just as cultural ideas, but as spiritual technologies and economic blueprints. Because when we practice them, they transform not just one week, but our entire way of living. Umoja means unity, but not the shallow kind, where everybody just smiles for a photo. Umoja is spiritual glue. It's the remembering that we belong to each other, in struggle, in survival, and in victory. In Hoodoo terms, Umoja is like the spiritual circle we cast when we pray together. It's the ring shout, the fellowship meal, the circle around the fire. It's energy that amplifies when people align in purpose. When we operate in unity, we're conducting spiritual electricity. Every act of generosity, every prayer shared, every coin pooled is a spark in that current. So start your week with Umoja in mind. Call your people. Mend old wounds. Volunteer somewhere that serves your own. Unity isn't just presence. It's participation. Kujichagulia means to define ourselves, name ourselves, create for ourselves, and speak for ourselves. This principle is pure root work energy, because for centuries, others tried to define us, and our ancestors fought back by naming, creating, and conjuring their own meaning. When you mix oils, tend herbs, or craft tools with your hands, you're practicing Kujichagulia. When you create a business rooted in your values instead of someone else's validation, that's Kujichagulia. Spiritually, this principle says, stop letting the world tell you who you are. You are the definition. You are the label. You are the maker and the made. And in an economy designed to strip you of agency, every act of creation, from a bar of soap to a spoken word verse, is an act of rebellion. Ujima means to build and maintain our community together and to make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems. This is the heart of Black economics. The practice of mutual aid, rotating credit unions, and freedom schools. Ujima is the spirit that powered every church, bake sale that sent a child to college, and every grassroots fund that kept the neighbors' lights on. Spiritually, Ujima mirrors the Hoodoo understanding that energy circulates best through hands that give and receive. If one person in the village is hurting, the balance is off. In the spirit world, it's the same. You can't pray for prosperity while ignoring someone else's hunger. The universe doesn't honor selfish magic. So when you light a candle for your own success, light another for the community. When you open a door, keep it open. When you prosper, circulate that prosperity like breath. That's Ujima, not charity, but shared responsibility. Ujamaa means to build and maintain our own stores, shops, and businesses, and to profit together from them. This is where spirituality meets economics head on. In root work, prosperity isn't just about getting money. It's about making sure the blessing circulates. Think of Ujamaa as the Hoodoo version of money drawing with purpose. Every dollar should have a job, feeding families, funding dreams, and fortifying community. We've seen the spirit before. In Tulsa's Greenwood district, in Durham's Haiti, in Atlanta's Sweet Auburn. These weren't just Black businesses. They were spiritual ecosystems built on trust, respect, and reciprocity. And even though those systems were bombed, burned, and bulldozed, the blueprint remains. When you buy from Black-owned stores, you're not just making a purchase. You're participating in a centuries-old ritual of resistance and restoration. When we circulate our dollars within the community, we're performing economic changer, raising prosperity from the ashes. Nia means to make our collective vocation the building and developing of our community in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness. Purpose gives direction to power. Without it, even our talents become distractions. Spiritually, Nia is the moment you realize your gifts aren't accidents. They're assignments. Your healing hands, your cooking, your storytelling, your organizing. All of it is sacred labor meant to restore your people. Nia reminds us that every ancestor who prayed for better days planted that hope in us. So when we fulfill our calling, we answer their prayers. Ask yourself, what part of the village am I meant to repair? If you can answer that, you found your Nia. Kumba means to do as much as we can to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than we inherited it. Now, this ain't just about art, it's about impact. Kumba says, take what's broken and make it better. Use your imagination to heal the world. Our ancestors turned scraps into quilts, sorrow into song, and dust into dance. That's divine creativity. Hoodoo itself is Kumba, taking the forgotten, the overlooked, the cast off, and making it sacred. When you turn your struggle into a sermon or your trauma into testimony, that's Kuumba. When you beautify your block, when you write new traditions into your family, you are practicing holy innovation. Remember, God is a creator, so creativity is prayer. Imani means to believe with all our hearts in our people, our parents, our teachers, our leaders, and the righteousness of our struggle. Imani is the fuel that keeps every other principle alive. It's the light on the altar that refuses to go out. Faith in our tradition isn't about waiting. It's about working while you believe. Our ancestors had Imani when they picked cotton by day and built freedom churches by night. They had Imani when they poured libation, prayed psalms, and whispered spells to make it home safe. That same Imani lives in us. It's the reason we still dream, still build, still praise. So light your candle, speak your affirmations, write your goals. Not because the world has made it easy, but because faith means creating what doesn't yet exist and walking toward it anyway. Family, when you weave all 7 principles together, they form more than a philosophy. They create a spiritual grid for liberation. Umoja gives us the heart. Kujichagulia gives us the name. Ujima gives us the hands. Ujamaa gives us the system. Nia gives us the mission. Kumba gives us the imagination. Imani gives us the fire. Together, they build a bridge between our ancestors and our future generations. A covenant that says, we will not forget who we are, even when the world tries to erase it. Kwanzaa is not just a celebration of culture. It's a ceremony of continuity. It teaches us that community, economy, and spirit are not separate. They are the same current flowing through different rivers. So as you move into the new year, I challenge you. Practice the principles daily. Turn Umoja into mutual aid. Turn Kujichagulia into creative ownership. Turn Ujamaa into financial power. And let Nia, Kumba, and Imani guide your vision into reality. Because every time we live by these principles, we call the ancestors' names and remind the world that the light of Black faith and ingenuity still burns bright. Thank you, family, for walking with me through these 7 keys of wisdom. May they guide you in this season and beyond, in your prayers, your work, and your wealth. Until next time, stay rooted, stay ready, and stay sacred. Peace and power.